Hello everybody, I'm Larry the Pen Buck Guy and welcome back to Larry's Fountain Pen. And I'm going to talk about this little fella right here. Yeah, it's one that's been all over the internet already, been done reviews. So there's not a lot I can add to it but my own opinion. So I'll give you my opinion. And only my opinion. Mr. Announcer, would you do the honors of naming the pen?
The Moonman 1 Kai.
It's a mini pocket pen. And, you know, it is rather small, so it really doesn't do much for me. It is postable, but I'm thinking in time I could get to like it. But just an immediate right now kind of thing, it just doesn't appeal to me. It's a bit small for me. But like I said, eventually I think I could come to like it, but it's not one of those kind of pens that I instantly would take a liking to, rather. How's that? The nib is a bit small. It's a number 5 nib. It's a smooth nib. It writes well. I'll give it that. But like I said, it's the kind of pen that would grow on me. It's a eyedropper pen, or you can use ink cartridges, and it came with Moonman ink cartridges. And here's how the pen comes when it's shipped to you. I do like the designs on the box. It's a cardboard box, but you know, a lot of Chinese pens do not come in a pen case of any sort, just in a sleeve and an envelope, and that's about it. So that's how it comes. I do have a Chinese a language translator on my phone, but at this moment it's not working, wouldn't you know it? So I can't translate anything that I was planning to do from Chinese to English. So sorry about that. But here it is, the Moonman mini pocket pen. So we take this off and you get these cartridges in the box. And they're black ink on it. And it comes packed just like that. And you got a eyedropper here. You can use ink from a bottle and put it in the pen. So before I get to the writing part and stuff, I'll talk a little bit more about the pen and my findings about this pen. Well, like I said, I'm not into dropper pens, so that didn't do much for me. I have used eyedropper pens, yeah, but they're just not my thing. So I did try using the ink cartridge, which is in there right now. And what I found on this pen, when I went to insert the ink cartridge, the whole grip, feed, and nib unit popped out. Boom. The ink cartridges are really hard to put on. It's like they're just stiff with hardly any flex in that tip of the cartridge to go in that tit of the nib on the end of the section there where it goes into. Right here, it was just a little bit tough when I'm pushing it in. So this whole unit came out. Yeah, you can unscrew it and come out, but it just flew out. So I put it back in. So now, my advice to anyone doing this, I would be careful when you put your cartridge in so this unit won't pop out. Okay, so I'll unscrew it. And I've used quite a bit of ink with it because I have been doing quite a bit of writing with the pen. Now, if I was to hold it in my hand uncapped, and I have small hands, here's how it would look. Wouldn't work. Yeah, I couldn't write with it at all. So, it's a good thing you can post the cap, and the cap screws right on. So, that makes it much more usable for me to write with. The grip section is ample enough room for my small fingers. But if you have large chunky fingers, it might not work so well unless you hold your pen up a little bit higher on the grip. If you decided to use it as an eyedropper, just make sure you use your silicone grease like you should. But just make sure that that nib's not going to pop out. So that kind of worried me for a while. This pen looked familiar when I saw it, and I've seen it, many times already. I haven't seen any reviews on it because I don't look at reviews till later after I give my own opinion and review. Then I'll check out other reviews and see what other reviewers like or disliked about the pen. It looks to me like that stipula that came out, the paparazzi, that's made in Italy. That's what it reminded me of. This pen in our measurements, just like it sits here, is 87.8 millimeters. When I checked out the measurements on the site where they have this pen, their measurements were 93 millimeters. The length of this pen when it's posted, it's 122.4 millimeters. That's by me using my gauge check there. So the grip length is 18.3 millimeters. The widest point of the grip is going to be 10.8 millimeters. And the widest point of the barrel is going to be 15.2 millimeters. The weight of the pen with the ink that was in it was 12.4 Gs. Okay? So that's what we got on our end out of it. It's a nice pen. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a pocket pen without a clip, and that's another turn off for me. I like my pens to have a clip on it because it will roll off your desk or table. That's another thing I don't like about it. I like something that's going to secure my pen on my desk or table because I hate for them to roll off. Is that the deal breaker because I don't have a clip on a pen? No, that would stop me from, getting the pen if I like it enough. But I wish it would have a bigger nib. I'm not into the small nibs like that myself. So, what I have to give it is that, well, for one, let's start with the ink. I do like the ink, the black ink. That was pretty decent. The nib, I have to give it to him. The nib was real nice, smooth, no problems whatsoever, and I'll show you a writing sample in a minute. So, and that's the heart of the pen for me, that nib. Is it going to be smooth, scratchy? Is it going to skip, railroad, whatever? So, eventually, I think this pen would grow on me. And even though I'm not into eyedroppers, I may eyedrop it. But being that I had that problem with the whole nib unit popping out, I wouldn't try with this one. because somewhere down the line it could happen again and all that ink come out. I wouldn't chance it. But it's a decent little pen. If you're into little pens, this is right up your alley. It's made well. It's a light pen. Postage would be the only way you could use it. So, before I do the writing test, I'll do some comparison real quick. Let me get down here. We'll zoom the camera down here with one certain pen. With the Kaweco Sport, it's a bit longer like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and post both pens and show you the outcome of that. So here you go. Both pens are posted. And at least the Kaweco is close to the pocket pen, the Moonman pocket pen. The closest I can get to it anyway with the small pens. And the nib on the Moonman is bigger than the nib on the Kaweco. But I do like the Moonman nibs over the Kaweco. That's just me. It's a lot smoother. So, that's my opinion on this pen. Now we'll do a writing sample with it and see how she flows. All right. Let's do some writing here. All right, there you have it. I didn't have any problems whatsoever with ink flow issues. I believe this pen, because I don't see size and nib on it, be a fine medium. There's some line variation here. Let's see, pressure, no pressure, not a lot. Okay, this is no pressure whatsoever. Now with a little bit of pressure, you get a little bit, but I wouldn't recommend to flex this nib because first of all, it's not a flex nib. So I don't recommend people trying to get flex out of a pen that's not flexible, because I can guarantee you one thing, eventually you're going to get the times to go bang, and that's going to be it. Alright, do a few little S's, and we'll do the check for wetness. And you got a nice wet nib. So, like I said, I've been using this pen now for quite some time. Not a bad little pocket pen. Would I use it again? And I'm thinking, that's a big question. I would say yes, I would. And here's what sold me on the pen. The nib. I do like the nib, the way it writes. And believe it or not, even though it's a small little mini pocket pen, I do like the clear demo look on it. You can see the ink swirling around, so it's kind of like a eyedropper without actually doing an eyedropper. There's nothing fancy about it. It's plain Jane. but it's a worthy pen. I think this pen runs for, I don't know, what, 14 bucks or something. And that would be the question I would point out to you guys out there that are viewing this review. Would you spend 14, 15 bucks on a pen like this? Or would you put that money like to a Pilot Metropolitan? Or to another pen of your choice? You never know how a pen will actually work until you actually give it a try. Because you may fall in love with this pen immediately, love at first sight. Because we all are different with our likes and dislikes. And I surely have mine. So this is my honest opinion on this pen. So from a 1 through 10, how would I number this pen? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best. I would have to give it an honest 6 because of the nib. If it wasn't for the nib, I wouldn't be giving it a 6. So that's going to take care of this review on the Moonman mini pocket pen. And I want to thank Bill Manning that sent me this pen. Thank you much. Now I'll open up that letter to see what your remarks were. All right, folks, that's going to wind it up. Appreciate your time for having me in your homes. With that said, don't text and drive. Leave your comments below. Take care. God bless. Later.